Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. Level up, tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. Never lose, shoulda had better luck. I'ma wake 'em up from a slumber. Money ain't nothing but a thing, and the level ain't nothing but a number. Life ain't nothing but a game. Level up, never lose, shoulda had better luck. Tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. I wanna ball. Waking up meant that he gave me a chance and I'm rolling the dice. I do it all. Living like I'm trying to go for the platinum trophy in life. Who can you call? Really nobody, so you should just follow me on your device. And know if she chillin' with me, then it's bound to be chemical X and the sugar and spice. Game in the system, but game is the hobby. I'm probably cocky, but hot as wasabi. I mean, if it's beef, then you know where to find me. My focus is ready and so is my body. You should be running and telling your posse and what's in the speakers and what's in your potty. And she trying to kick it, but this ain't karate. Just keep that shit down while I'm watching Tsunami. I ain't saying I'm a super nerd, but I told you when we got involved, my idea of a perfect date is a PlayStation and some alcohol. I was role playing on GTA. I'm a good guy, but I got it all. If the world should end, be the first to leave, but the last of us. Level up, never lose, shoulda had better luck. Tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. Level up, tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. Never lose, shoulda had better luck. I'ma wake 'em up from a slumber. Money ain't nothing but a thing, and the level ain't nothing but a number. Life ain't nothing but a game. Level up, never lose, shoulda had better luck. Tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. Level up, never lose, shoulda had better luck. Tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. Level up, tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. Never lose, shoulda had better luck. I'ma wake 'em up from a slumber. Money ain't nothing but a thing, and the level ain't nothing but a number. Life ain't nothing but a game. Level up, never lose, shoulda had better luck. Tryna see.
Well, I think we're live. As before I get the introductions going, I need one of my panel members to go over, switch over really fast to check. Unfortunately, whether Spectrum decided that it hates the WSP podcast or OB
Trice, real name.
OB Trice, yeah, hates WSP podcast. Somebody hates us because we're switching over to no cams, just audio tonight. I do apologize. But let's get going with the introductions here. What's going on, people? Fame Entertainment here from LevelOnGamer.com, man. Congratulations, you guys leveled up to 127. This is the Double XP podcast. We got some good topics for you guys tonight. We're going to be talking, of course, some of the hottest news in gaming. So I'm going to start with the introductions. The man that will usually be to my right, the man with the clamps, Citizen Snips.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Glad to be back with y'all for another Wednesday. It feels like we had a really slow week when it comes to gaming news. I don't think it's really like that. We've just been spoiled these past few weeks with so much major stuff being announced that it just seems like this week was kind of slow. But I don't know. We still got some cool stuff to talk about, so I know we'll get right into it, and I'm excited to be here with everybody, man. Let's do this thing.
Next up, my co-host, and also the co-host of the Take Two podcast, my sister, the Floor Hugger. What's going on?
What's going on, y'all? I am glad to be back. Like Citizen was saying, it feels like it's slow, but it really hasn't been because we got a whole bunch of tech specs for the Series X and all that kind of stuff. But I am excited to just be back with these people. Sorry about the no cams. I know this is the Floor Hugger and Company podcast, but we'll get back to it next week. Make sure to get all your gaming news from Level 1 Gaming. I have a nice retrospective coming out on Friday. I hope you guys enjoy it. And let's just hear the smooth voices of everybody else tonight.
Next up, DALLAZ. Man, what's going on?
Man, what's good with y'all? It's I always say it feel like a long time in between time, but it really do. Like, I don't want to blow up nobody's head by saying I'll be missing y'all, but low key y'all might be kind of cool. Shout out to the chat. I see Hustle pulled up already. You always like the first or second person here. What's good with you? I'm just ready to get it going.
And I don't know if we still live or not, but half man, half God, demigod reviews.
Yo, glad to be here. Bringing in the wine. Women are coming through, and I am sleepy. So let's get into this gaming talk.
And Hail to the King can't make it today, so shout out to him as well. So we're gonna jump right into it. Spider-Man has taken over the news today. God, I hate looking at this thing and wondering whether or not we're live. So I'm gonna need somebody to monitor the show. Let me know if we're not.
Hustle's always got us.
Usually, Hustle's the man, bro. Hustle usually has our back, man. And I promise you guys, one day I'm gonna finally get the courage up to leave Spectrum and go somewhere else. But there's not many options where I live at. It's either Spectrum or AT&T. AT&T cannot have my money. They cannot have my money. So Spider-Man is taking over the news today. There has been a recast of the main character Peter Parker from the original Spider-Man PS4 game. For the remaster, they have switched the face model. It's a totally different person. He looks completely different. He looks like somebody that we all know, someone that we sort of love because he's a good version of Spider-Man. He's younger than the person he's supposed to be mentoring at the end of Spider-Man PS4. Spoilers! Miles Morales becomes Spider-Man, for those of you who have lived under a rock and do not know. Spoiler. Yeah, sorry. But I want to get the panel's thoughts on this. Now, I want to start with Dallas. We talked a little bit before this, before the show started. Dallas, what are your thoughts on them for the remaster? It's the exact same game, but they've added in, 4K 60, ray tracing, and all that pretty stuff. But they recast Peter Parker. What are your thoughts on this?
I mean, we expected there to be a remaster version, and we expected it to look a little different, but damn though, like different. So I don't know. It's on one hand, you hear two different schools of thought. One is like, that's complete trash. Change it. Go back and do the thing that they did with Sonic the Hedgehog. And then you get some people going, "Oh well, you'll warm up to it. It'll sink in eventually. You'll be fine." I'm like somehow right in the middle. I'm leaning closer to the side of you'll be fine because I do think eventually, like, we won't even notice it. This will be a thing next year that we're not even talking about unless we're making fun of it. But they have to understand, like, that's jarring as hell. Like, you have to understand how jarring that is. And this is some people's favorite game of the generation. Like, it's definitely in like my top 5 favorites of this generation. And so they really are invested in the Peter Parker that they have now. And it's not an easy task to do what they did and completely remake Peter Parker for their universe and it still actually work out. So to turn around and change that once people finally warm up to it, I don't know, man. You gotta know you was about to get what you got.
David, what are your thoughts on this, brother?
It feels like somebody bigger stepped in and made them change the look, personally. Because if you notice the original Spider-Man and the PS4 version, a little more like Andrew Garfield. So probably one of the higher ups is like, less Garfield and more Holland.
Right.
Because the guy looks exactly like Tom Holland. Like, and this causes a rift because the person you're supposed to be mentoring now looks older than him. And now they have to de-age Miles.
Yeah, I literally said that same thing to Fame at work today when he stopped by my desk. That was he looks like I don't necessarily about the change. Like I'm not gonna go grab a pitchfork and start a fire over it, but it's weird, it's unexpected, I guess, or it seems unnecessary, I guess is the better way to put it. But then again, we don't know what all's going on behind the scenes with future projects and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, like the main thing I looked at was like, man, he looks like almost baby-faced now. Like, I don't understand how he's supposed to look older than Miles and be his mentor when he looks like Miles' little brother now.
And that's where the confusion kicks in.
Sorry.
Good, though.
Hugger, can you? I'm working on trying to figure out what's going on and talking with people in the chat. So, Hugger, if you could take over for me. I apologize, folks. This seems to be a reoccurring issue at least once every month. So, I
Is
apologize.
Dreamcast guy here? It's got to be Dreamcast.
Yeah, it's Dreamcast.
He started, man. He's a curse, dude. Like, he cursed the podcast. Ever since he came on, we've been having issues with the podcast.
We need Miss Click back to talk about Captain America's dingus.
No.
Hey, that stream was uninterrupted for an hour and a half.
Could have interrupted.
Nothing wrong with that stream. But yeah, Fame, before you go off and try to fix things, what's your thoughts on this?
I don't like it. I know I didn't read the full thing they put out, but I believe it was something about the mocap. Is why they had to change the character. Mm-hmm. This was unnecessary. Like, I'm sorry. At the 4K, at the 60 frames per second, at the ray tracing, you didn't need to change the. I just don't like it. Spider-Man in this game was what, 23? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. And Miles
24, something like that.
And Miles is 16, 17, 18.
And Miles in the trenches already, bro. Like,
so the issue I have is, why is it that the person that's supposed to be mentoring the little dude look younger than the little dude? Like, that makes no sense. Like, I can understand if maybe this was a whole different game, but it's literally the exact same game, right? Mm-hmm. There was no need to do this. I get, their reason is their reason, right? Who am I to say, that what they're saying is the truth or not? But is it not a coincidence that the original character somewhat looked like Andrew Garfield, and now this one somewhat looks like Tom Holland? Like, is that not a coincidence? Like, did no one Insomniac say, this looks like this? Everyone thought this was fine, that this wasn't an issue? Like, granted, I've already played the game, I've beaten the game, I love the game. I just think it's a weird thing to do. Why put this much effort into a game that just came out 2 years ago?
2019, yeah.
Like, yeah, so why put so much effort into this quote unquote remaster? You know what I'm saying? I don't dig it. I don't like it. I'm not a big fan on sudden changes. I didn't like it when even though I got used to it. I didn't like the sudden change of when they switched up War Machine and Iron Man from Terrence Howard to Don Cheadle. I eventually was cool with Don Cheadle.
Look how that turned out, though.
It turned out great, but I didn't like it at first. I didn't. It's just weird to me. I didn't like them constant switching. I liked Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. I liked him. A lot of people didn't like him. I liked it. Do I love Tom
I
Holland?
think he's a better Spider-Man, and Tobey Maguire is a better Peter Parker.
Yes.
Yep.
And did I eventually get over it? Yeah. Will I do the same thing with this? Yes. But it still looks stupid. Don't make the older character look younger than a younger character. Mm-hmm. It's dumb. Like, they got Miles looking like he smoked Newports. Like, he just an old man at 16, bro. Like, come on.
Miles is that dude that dominates everybody in sports at his school just because he's like aged 10 years more than all the other kids. Like, his body just developed faster is what it looks like. He's that dude that was dunking on you in 6th grade. Like,
Yep.
I
I think Demi's right. There is some bigger up influence because we've seen games get ported to the new generations and they don't have this major change, especially with all the controversy Spider-Man's going through with the not offering the free upgrades for people in the PlayStation 5, and now this, it's like, what is going on with this specific game that all of this is now starting to collapse in on itself? Not saying that Spider-Man PS5 will be a bad game because it's the same game, whatever, but I'm so interested in what's going on. Halo has its controversy. Cyberpunk, we got to talk about the Cyberpunk crunch thing later. There's that controversy. There's a whole bunch of controversy with all these games, but Spider-Man has had a lot of controversy that people aren't paying attention to, and I don't know how to feel about it. Because this is a whole new recast. This is a whole new face model. Like, what prompted that?
Okay, so I saw Insomniac going back and forth with people on Twitter about this thing, and they sort of kind of had the same answer for everybody. But
Of course.
I'll read one of the tweets verbatim. Understand how you feel and appreciate your passion for the OG game. Had to recast to better match Yuri Lowenthal's facial capture. This is a technically motivated decision centered around the challenges from using separate people for the model of the face performance. So, if that is true, then I understand.
So basically, they're saying the old dude's face wasn't good enough for next gen.
Like that ain't that the
There's a
stupidest?
difference between no, what they're saying is
Right?
there's a difference between the facial model that they got and the actual performance, the captured performance. So
See,
those
I
two
could
people aren't
believe that
the same.
if it wasn't a year-old game. You just said it the best. Is maybe his facial capture wasn't the best on what was in the game, but I can guarantee you, having been somebody that sat in on mocap sessions, there's 30 takes that they do. They could have pulled something. I feel like this was a higher up decision. This wasn't, and they can't, of course, give us, all the answers because that's whatever. But this is a higher up decision. This was, we don't like his face anymore, or we want to move towards a Tom Holland face because that's what people want. And that's what it
And
is.
So this obviously means that this is what Peters is going to look like in the Miles game, right?
That's even more awkward.
Bro, if it's not, I'm gonna break
That'd be
something.
weird.
If it's the old guy, if it's the original character in Miles, I'm gonna throw something.
How weird would that be?
Well, it's not hard. All they have to do is wrap his face around the character model. The character model does the same thing. All they need to do is put a new face on it. All they're doing is getting face capture. They're not getting body capture because the movements are all the same. They never said that they're changing the swinging mechanics, changing anything of that.
Yeah,
It's
didn't even
the
change
same
the
body.
shirt.
It's just
I-
a different face.
While I'm with you, that would mean they have to pay somebody to do that, and they got another game to focus.
Think about this.
Exactly, but they paid somebody to do another face. That's the thing.
Think about this. Some rich guy sat in his office and said, "Make him look younger." Like,
In that word case, they can't.
Hold on,
They
hold on.
can't.
Don't
say it in
say
that
it
Hold on.
like that, please.
Please don't put your breath in my ear.
I felt so uncomfortable for a hot second. I was
like
like,
really, somebody make him look younger.
You're like the Nickelodeon guy that likes feet. Like, ooh.
Please.
What?
Like that legit
Don't
happened.
explain, Don't explain.
Why are you saying like
Yeah.
There's only one of those?
But listen, I'd rather them do it now than do it before Spider-Man 2, right? I mean, if you're gonna do it on a remaster. I still don't like it. I think
It's
it was
a year-old game. Why?
yeah. I think it's unnecessary.
You know what gets me about all this? The whole thing is so I am now thinking that they put way more time and effort into this remaster than I originally thought.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes me feel like they didn't get to put as much effort towards Miles' game, which means it's probably going to be shorter than what I was initially expecting, like some people were saying. And this means we're now even farther away from like an actual fully new game.
Right?
Yeah, and this is our Resident Evil Resistance style olive branch for not giving you enough game the first time around.
Does anybody feel like the new Miles game is gonna be like infamous, like First Light, which was the one with the girl, which was only about 5 hours, or Second Son, where it's like a half a game? I don't feel it's gonna be a full game. They're gonna charge full prices
no,
because they want all your money.
Said it's not gonna be a full game like that.
It's definitely not a full
Yeah.
game.
I mean, Second Son makes sense.
But,
That wasn't that long a game to begin with when you think about it.
True, but is it gonna be a 2-hour game or is it gonna be a 10-hour game?
Probably following the same footsteps as Infamous. Not Infamous.
It'll probably be like
Starfield,
6-7 hours.
But I think that Lost Legacy thing that's where my expectations are. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Lost Legacy was better than
Legacy
Uncharted
was so
4.
good.
Lost Legacy is better than Uncharted 4.
That's very debatable.
I understand why you say that.
I might have to agree
I
with you on
feel
that.
that made you say that. I understand.
So, and the way then you got to think about it too. Like, are they going to put as many go catch these bird missions in this game as they did with the original Spider-Man? Because they don't want nobody to cap, because we know in Spider-Man PS4 they give you a lot of unnecessary same old side missions over and over again,
But
and
they
that
all have
extended.
story behind them though.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I
but
feel
still
like
it's the same mission.
the Oscorp things, those did get a little tiresome. The pigeon thing that everybody complains about, I didn't have that same problem.
Right, if you like
They
the
were
web
swinging
slinging,
challenges. Yeah.
The pitching one shouldn't have been a problem for you.
It was
Bruh,
hey,
if I, as somebody who plays every single Assassin's Creed, can say, "Oh man, that's some repetitive ass gameplay," you know something's
Yeah,
wrong.
but you out here catching feathers though. Like, can you really judge the man chasing a pigeon? And there's
I haven't. This is
That's what
10
makes
years
her
ago.
able to judge.
You said
is
every-
because-
Exactly.
Like,
exactly.
yeah.
That's
hey,
what makes me
fly
able
through the
to
smoke.
judge that.
hey, but before we could
I'm looking
before we
at that and be
continue
like,
this,
oof.
before we continue this, for people who just not jumping in, I do apologize about the stream. If it's cutting out, it's gonna be for just the 1 second. We're having some issues on our side, but we dedicated to this podcast. Want to keep the podcast going, which is why we went with no cams. For those who are listening on Spotify and all that, y'all good. Y'all hearing straight audio. But everybody else, we do apologize. But yes, we're gonna keep it going. Sorry, I want to put that out there.
Guys
but
do
like,
listen
okay,
to
so-
us on Spotify because we're funny and we love you guys and we want to just fill every aspect of your life with our shenanigans.
I want to be all up in your life.
Nah,
No,
don't do
stop
that.
it with the breathy
I
stuff.
want to be up in you.
That's not okay. Man. You can't say that.
Anyway,
This
No,
is-
but
this
I
is how
understand what
we
you're
start
saying,
for
like-
not having to be in box.
Dallas, how
This
you
is-
doing
this is-
today?
You know, I was one of the people that enjoyed chasing around the fancies and Black Flag. I was one of those people.
Then you never hunted. Did you play
sure.
Assassin's Creed 2 where you had to hunt the 100 feathers and they never told you where they were?
Yeah, but I did not.
Here's-
Like, I wasn't down for that.
Oof.
I'm okay
Oh, I
with
did that.
swinging through a cloud, all right? But don't make me swing through the same cloud 4 different times and then tell me, oh, this time you're checking for pollution. This time you're checking for...
Check for
ozone.
everything the first time.
This time you're checking for nanites that were released from some obscure thing we made up 2 minutes ago. I'm like, no, I'm still just swinging through the same freaking cloud. I'm not stupid.
Right?
That should have been a warning to how the mission structure of Avengers was about to be.
Hey man, look, I still play the Avengers. I like that game, but I can't wait for them to add some more content.
That's why I didn't buy
See,
it.
and that's what I say about Anthem, and y'all look at me crazy. It's like,
But come on, that was but that was Anthem.
In game of Anthem before it got tired.
I got
it's
Avengers.
true.
Like, but no, I'm saying as a
I just
person
love
that
Kev. He's like,
plays
I
and
just got it
enjoys
for
Avengers.
free. I don't
Yeah.
care.
That's
I'm
why
saying
like,
that as a person
my
that plays and
expectations
enjoys
were
Avengers,
nowhere.
bro.
I was like, I'm a superhero. I punch and I fly. I got it for free. Cool. All right, I'm done now.
Bye.
You can
Yeah.
enjoy anything you get for free.
Yeah.
That's true. Well, I don't know if you want to. Nope.
We're not. No,
No.
we're not taking in that direction.
I was like, let me stop myself.
Jesus Christ. I mean, 'cause it's some things you never mind.
No, but
Listen,
that,
look,
that
you don't get to get exasperated after what you just said in your little breathy voice.
Yeah.
Yo, Wasabi said Avengers is worse than Anthem. You are lying, sir.
you know what? Okay, there are aspects of Avengers that were handled worse than certain aspects of Anthem. But I think Anthem is a worse. Everything surrounding Anthem makes it a worse game. The fact that they didn't
When's the
continue
last
to
time you
support,
fired it up, though?
it's been a very long time.
Because they put a whole bunch of new stuff in there.
I think the only game that would ever come out to me is like, because with Anthem, I just felt like I was lied to. Like, with everything leading up
Yeah.
to the game, and then when the game came out and I played it, I was like, I see what's
You
there.
are not the father.
There's something here, but you lied to me. I feel like a tiny bit about that with Avengers, just because it's still kind of unpolished, little glitchy stuff here and there, that kind of thing. But no game will ever. I think Anthem is forever second to the original release for No Man's Sky. No game will ever make me feel that betrayed ever again.
Yeah, I'm with you.
They
Yeah.
promised so much. They literally promised the universe and then delivered
Yeah.
me like 2 procedurally generated planets. And I
You
was
know
like,
what?
I feel
Right,
sad
boy.
inside. I'm hurt,
Right.
and I'm not okay.
Fable had
tried to
more
believe
promised features than No Man's Sky did at launch.
Oh.
Lot of mercy.
Ooh, damn, Dallas.
Like, it did.
Lot of mercy.
Ooh.
But listen, I like the Avengers. I'm looking forward to the content that's coming out. I need more people who have finished the story to run these missions with me. I'm hoping Kevin is done with the
Yes.
story. Okay, awesome.
I will. Actually, I might finish it tonight. I know I'm really close. I just last week, when I took that week off, I spent that working on PS4 backlog, which I made progress. Be proud of me, gamers.
We took you long enough.
Well,
no.
party.
But isn't that the thing we're always preaching is like, don't matter what we say, unless it's like a game like Fallout 76, although that's starting to redeem itself. Just go play what you want to play. Like, we can talk all kinds of nonsense about all the games, but play what you want to play and enjoy what you want to enjoy.
That's the main thing that scares me. Is it seems like this is happening more and more now with games where we're promised all this stuff, and then when the game releases, it's not there yet, but we'll get it there. And then even if they do eventually get it there, it's like, but this is what you told me I would have when I bought the darn thing.
Right?
And I don't like that this is becoming acceptable, and this is becoming the practice to rush. Yeah, just go ahead and release it on the date. We'll fix it afterwards.
Oh, me and you need to sit down and do a podcast about scummy business practices. Ooh, I can go on all day.
I will say that they launched terribly, but they have had this great.
I've heard the game has come back and it's like really awesome now, and it's pretty much exactly what they said it would be in the beginning. But I'm still so hurt from before.
It's just not just No Man's Sky.
I still feel that hurt, man. I don't know if I can trust you again.
It's a
It's
trend.
also Elder Scrolls, Secret Worlds, Final Fantasy 14, Final Fantasy.
I was there.
Look at what those
Very
games
good.
are now.
I was there
Still
for the
better.
original
That's
Final
exactly
Fantasy
what we're talking
14.
about, though.
And
The redemption of.
I will say I semi-excuse MMOs just because that stream of constant updates and patches and gradual evolution of the game that's how MMOs work, basically.
And that's
like,
what Anthem is.
they're gonna
an
be a
MMO.
little thin at the beginning,
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
and then more content will get added, and eventually you know they'll improve the content, or so to speak. But for like my blockbuster release RPGs and that kind of stuff, like,
Yeah.
no, why do you do this to me?
Like a live service has a little wiggle room. Something like Mass Effect Andromeda, on the other hand.
You know,
Well, that
That's
was
what
given
broke
to
my
the
heart.
why
base studio.
we're kind of still on Anthem, Avengers. What are the chances that they bless us and they deepfake?
You about to say it, ain't you? Go ahead and say it.
I'm trying to figure out
Black
if I
Widow?
should. No, Black Panther. If they give us Chadwick, that would
I
be.
mean, they have his facial
immortalized-
models because they did the 3D scans when they were doing Black Panther.
Like
The 3D
immortalize
models
him in
that
the
would pop
game.
up.
If they immortalize him in this game, it's a win, bro. I don't care.
That's all I will say about them doing that is if they do it,
Gotta be
it
free.
Has to be, it has to be free.
Yeah.
Because if you
Yeah.
try
I
and
want better
put
for
that
him.
behind any kind of paywall,
Oh,
you have
yeah.
now turned something that should have been a great sign of respect and an homage to something dirty and disgusting,
Yeah.
and driven by monetary goals. And I hate you, and I will not buy another thing that you make.
Oh yeah,
I want
I,
better.
You guys remember when, Shadow of War, I think it was,
Oh yeah.
one of the developers passed away, and they had his character, and then they charged $10 for it, and people were like, no, screw you. And then
Yeah.
they made it free because they're like, people aren't gonna buy our game.
You don't honor somebody's memory by putting it behind a paywall. That's not how that works.
Especially Chadwick, who was such a, like, especially now that he's passed, rest in power, my king. So many stories of him taking pay cuts for female
21 Bridges.
co-stars. Exactly, taking pay cuts for female co-stars, paying for people's, acting school, paying for all kinds of things, just being a generally good human, the definition of a good human, and then you do a scummy microtransaction kind of like that would be, yeah. Wasabi has played
you're right.
Avengers on PC if anybody wants to hit him up. Like they did on Kobe, yes. But we also know 2K is scummy, and no matter what we do to 2K, they're not gonna listen to us.
bro, they sure did.
People bought that edition, and they're gonna buy that edition. They don't care about us.
And that was also disgusting.
Yes, it was.
Yes.
But I like what we're going off topic a little bit, but my last piece on this. I like what was it Nike? They stopped when Kobe died. They stopped selling his merchandise for a while, not so they wouldn't
That was-
capitalize on his death. So
Mm-hmm.
there's that. Before we move on, I'm gonna say
Small
this
things.
one more time. If you're watching the stream live, I appreciate you. You must be really dedicated because we're having some issues with the stream. So that's why we might be cutting out every once in a while. But do us a favor, hit that like button. Definitely hit the like button. Shut the stream out. We definitely would appreciate it. So I do want to move on to, of course, the news that shocked the world, and we talked about this a little bit before, was Microsoft buying ZeniMax, right? And there's a whole big old deal on whether or not things are going to be exclusive, things are going to be multi-platform. We're starting to get more news now that from a lot of people who are opinions that I trust, that are more likely to tell the truth than not. There's Starfield, which didn't have any type of previous exclusivity, anything tied to it, any type of deals tied to it, even though it has come out that Sony did try to pay Bethesda to make Starfield a PlayStation 5 exclusive. That was a thing. We're hearing that Starfield just may be the first title, Bethesda title that it is exclusive to Xbox and PC. So I'm gonna get y'all thoughts on that, because that's supposed to come out next year. I didn't think it would hit this soon for them to go exclusive. I thought they would still support the other platforms with new games, at least for the for like the first round of upcoming Bethesda ZeniMax titles. I want to get y'all thoughts on this 2021 Starfield exclusive to Xbox and PC. I'm gonna start with you, Demi.
Come on, Demiculus Testiculus.
Ma'am.
I want to start with you, Citizen Snips.
Oh, hey, what's up, man?
The handsome man with
So,
the clamps on his
I
hands.
guess we do gotta specify. So we don't know for sure that it'll be exclusive. Everything seems to be hinting towards that, and that seems to be the logical choice. And I think that's what they could and should do. But I think it's good. I've never had an issue with a game being exclusive for PlayStation, so I don't see why I would have an issue with a game being exclusive for Microsoft, and more importantly for PC, because that means I will likely be able to play it on my PC when I'm still kind of in like, I'm not sure if I want to go buy a Series X yet. So from my personal perspective, awesome. Wins all around. Very many claps. Enjoyment shall be had. I may have a celebratory shot or two. But it seems like we still don't know hardly anything about the game, so that would be cool to know more. But there's nothing wrong with consoles having exclusive content. I've never been against that. On the same vein, I think when games become available to other platforms, I don't think that's a bad thing either. And in fact, I think expanding your gamer audience is probably the better solution to do overall in the long run. But yeah, for like timed exclusives, or if they just want to have it as exclusive, cool, man, rock it. You paid for the studio, do it. Make that 7.5 billion work for you, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's about mother damn time. It's about time. It's not really even a whole lot to say about that, because like, what are you gonna say that really contributes to that conversation? I mean, because when it comes down to it, it's like, yeah, it's about time. Thanks. Thanks for contributing to gaming.
Yeah.
So really quickly here, there's an article that went out by WCCF Tech, but they've gotten really reliable. They put out an article from a blog post that talked about a comment from the VP, Xbox Gaming Partnerships and Ecosystem VP, Sarah Bond. And she stated, one of the things that has me most excited is seeing the roadmap with Bethesda's future games coming to Xbox console and PC, including Starfield, the highly anticipated new space epic currently in development by Bethesda. And so that's what a lot of people's like, there it is. And I do believe it. I don't.
She left herself some legal leeway there with the word.
She did.
She didn't say only to Xbox and PC.
She did.
So,
Well, here's the thing that I'm thinking is, there's new IPs like Starfield, which I'm not gonna get hyped for because I don't know anything about the game. If I wanted to get hyped about a Star game, I'll buy into Star Citizen, which we know will never launch.
Never ever.
But there's certain games like the other people were saying, because there are certain titles that can never be exclusive. Mortal Kombat, Elder Scrolls, the Witcher series, anything that CD, you're gonna come under my fire a lot tonight. Ooh, I got some rage towards you guys. There's certain games that just can't be exclusive, and Elder Scrolls is one of them.
Do you
But
feel the
Starfield,
same
it's in.
if it was timed exclusive?
Well, I'm about to get into that, you handsome boy.
Oh,
Kevin, hey, how you doing? So, the Starfield is a brand new IP from Bethesda. Probably the first one we've seen in a very long time. Okay, if you want to be exclusive, okay. Timed exclusives, I have no problem with. Yes, I may get uppity, like when Tomb Raider, this is my biggest time exclusive. When Tomb Raider was first released, Rise of Tomb Raider was first released on the Xbox, it was 6 months exclusive, but then I realized they were just holding off till the 20th anniversary on PlayStation. Okay, I can get that. I just, the people jumping up and down, oh, it's exclusive. Don't you just want people to buy the games and play the games? Because if the game doesn't do well on your select console, they're not going to make another one. That's my biggest thing. It's like, it can be exclusive all you want, but if it doesn't do well, it doesn't really matter how well it did. I wish we had cams on so you could see my face, because I'm incredulous right now.
Well, this is what Microsoft is banking on. Number one, Xbox Game Pass is up to 15 million subscribers. And it's only going to grow this holiday season, right? With people hearing about Bethesda and people buying consoles, it's only going to grow. Everybody who gets a new Samsung phone is in the ecosystem, right? They're going to get the 3 months or whatever. So 15 million people, number one. Another statement I want to make is a lot of people are saying, well, Microsoft is stupid if they ignore 100 million PS4 owners. Here's the thing. Microsoft didn't spend $7.5 billion for these games to go to PS4 or PS5. They paid $7.5 billion for people to be streaming these games on Game Pass streaming, on game streaming. They paid $7.5 billion for people to play this game on their Samsung Galaxy phone, on their Xbox, on their PC, soon on their TVs, possibly on the Switch. I don't think Microsoft, other than what already is contractually agreed upon, which they said they would, other than Elder Scrolls 6, everything else from what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing will be exclusive to the Microsoft ecosystem. People keep saying 100 million PS4 owners. Well, there are billions of people with phones.
Yeah.
Billions of people with phones. That's Microsoft.
And Xboxes.
Exactly. That's Microsoft's target. That 100 million PS4 owners is nothing compared to the 2 billion gamers they can reach with Game Pass.
Well, and the billions of people that have PCs, but we also look at it as gamers and sometimes, we do it on this podcast, is PC or Microsoft versus PlayStation. We don't know. It's not antagonistic relationships they have. They will work together if it benefits them both.
Exactly.
So we don't know what they have in the chamber for us. They could very well be working on a deal between both of them to do something in the future. We don't know. But it's not a black versus white. It's not a green versus blue. We've said this time and time again, they don't care about us. They just want the money. And if it's beneficial to work together, they will work together. They don't care about you. They want their money. Maybe it works out for us, maybe it doesn't. Who knows?
As of right now, the more stuff they add to Game Pass, man, we winning. They just added the EA Play is now in there. We got pretty much every game in the ZeniMax library is going to be in there. Doom Eternal is going in there next month, and you can expect every other game from Microsoft's first party Bethesda Studios to be in there. That's one thing, man. I can hang my hat on unless they decide to up the price, because Game Pass, man, whether you pay $5 or $15 for the Ultimate, dude. That is one thing as gamers I can say, dude, you winning. Because you look at these teams now. Godfall on PS5 gonna be 70 bones. Ugh. 70. And on PC it's gonna be the standard 60. Now you tell me how that works. Tell me that's for the gamers. Hell no. And that's not just them, it's third party developers. I'm sure even Microsoft may have a $70 game or two. That's where Game Pass come in clutch, bro. If Bethesda come out with these bangers, the Starfield is a banger, the next Doom is a banger, the next Wolfenstein is a banger, Hellblade 2 is a banger, bro. Like, you get all these games for a subscription, and don't tell me
Doom is tomorrow.
Exactly, and I don't want to hear, "Oh, I want to own my games," but then you out here buying a all digital PS5 or Xbox Series S. Don't give me the crap. But I own my game. I want to own my game because you don't own your games, fam. Unless you got the game, the case, and a physical disc, you do not own your game. So what is the difference, my guy?
Even then, you don't necessarily own the game. The way things work now, they could just as easily deny your physical copy from actually booting up on your system.
Which is a more likely scenario.
But think about it. With the physical, you can always ROM dump it and then still play it on your PC.
Also, with that whole argument of I want to own my games, well, with Game Pass, you can still buy the game, and usually they give you some kind of super fat discount.
20% off.
That's
member.
True.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, like, I don't see any detriment to Game Pass. There's none that I can see. Maybe there's some out there. I'm willing to admit that. I'm not all-seeing and all-knowing. But
You aren't?
I
thought you was.
No,
I thought you
feel
were.
Like it. I feel like it sometimes.
are.
But man, that Game Pass Ultimate has given me so much value over the past year. I love it, man. And the fact that the Origin stuff is about to come there now, and
Oh yeah, that EA plays.
like,
gonna be so good.
I am very, very pleased with my $15 a month investment, and I can't imagine why anyone who enjoys playing games and doesn't just have a blind hatred for all things Microsoft would not also have some form of Game Pass.
Well, think about it. With $15 a month, you're getting literally access to hundreds of games. And before I get on that, we were just talking about Bethesda. So this month on Game Pass, Dishonored 2 is about to be, off of Game Pass because they do the rotation thing.
It's coming back.
They took it off. It's coming back because of the buyout. It's going to be on there. I know Hellblade. I know Gears. Yakuza's still on there. We'll get into the Yakuza stuff later. It's still on there. I think Yakuza's going to be on there indefinitely. But yeah, the Dishonored 2 kind of scaled back, and I was like, oh yeah, this is like what we're seeing of the beautifulness of the buyout. We're not an Xbox podcast. I don't care what you guys think. We're not an Xbox podcast. We don't get paid by them. I wish we did. Pay some bills.
Pay some bills, baby.
Some student loans. But we just realize as gamers what's best.
And look, Sony
Right
sees
now,
this.
Microsoft
I'll
is
be
best.
down for
Look at what they're doing with
it.
PS Plus. Look what they doing with the PS Plus. When you get the PS5, you can play all the PS4 hits, except for a couple that they left out, like The Last of Us Part 2,
Isn't
but God of War and all that
This
stuff.
week's or this month's
What'd you say?
PS
It's
Plus
still-
Last of Us Part 2.
Dude, shout out to Wasabi in chat too. When we were talking about owning games or whatnot,
Wasabi.
they said they've killed discs before they sold Paragon on disc. That one hits me a little close, dude. Paragon
come
was
on.
the
Paragon's
only
the
game.
MOBA I ever played that like I actually liked that game. And then they were
I'm
like,
right
You
there.
haha, we're
hold
killing it.
all the
Bye.
physical assets of Paragon in your hand. If you want to turn it around
True.
and sell them, yes, you may eventually get tracked down, but you hold all the physical assets of everything in Paragon.
Look what happened with Paragon, and y'all still out here supporting Epic. Now I'm playing.
Oh, I don't support Epic. We all know that.
Hey man,
I like they free games they be giving out. I
they saw
appreciate
that
y'all.
Oh, they
cash
give
cow
out
that
some good
Fortnite
games.
was. They jumped in.
I've yet to buy a single game on the Epic store. I just be collecting them free games. I appreciate y'all.
Oh, I buy the free games all the time. I'm gonna pay for. Anyway,
Nah.
Y'all, we might not be live right now. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
no, we're live. I'm watching us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
I
right.
saw that.
You're right.
Okay.
We good.
Okay.
Don't
Man,
worry.
I'm sorry, chat. Like, I apologize. Hopefully this is fixed by tomorrow by take 2. If not, we got a remedy for it because I do have a wonderful, beautiful co-host. And, yeah. So,
Stop talking about Kev in front of me, man.
whoa. I mean, Kevin's so handsome, bro. Like,
Y'all can't see my head getting bigger, but it is.
pause.
The one on my shoulder. The one on my shoulder.
Pause, bro.
Sir. Sir and ma'am.
You say yeah,
We're
we
just
good.
gamers that love games.
Keep scrolling. Yo.
Keep scrolling. You gotta keep scrolling. What you gotta say about us?
Oh, God.
No,
I hope
brother.
you guys that are watching live or to this on Spotify. You know, don't let this scare you off. Just come hang out on Level 1 Gaming.
And
Come hang out on the Discord.
shout out to people who've been rocking with us on Spotify. I was surprised to see the amount of people that are listening to us on Spotify. So y'all
Right.
that's listening on Spotify right now. When I upload this, y'all some real ones. Now people come out and watch on YouTube, man. I appreciate y'all for commitment and coming through. But do us a favor, man. Share it out on social media, on the tweets, on the Facebooks, on the Snapchats, on the Instagrams. Like share it out on all of them. And
Is
say,
your
hey,
intention to sound old?
yeah.
People use
I was
Snapchat
wondering.
still?
Yes.
Thanks to
I
Trista
only get
Bucks.
news on Snapchat.
Yeah, the
Yes.
top
That's
tick
the best place.
on top
It's
ticks.
the talk.
Share us out on
Instagram.
top ticks. You know what I'm saying? Like
Optics.
share us out on there. Like, hey man, these people from Do 2XP, they kind of cool. You know, go ahead and do us a favor. Share it out. Hit that like button too. Hit the subscribe button. We about to hit 150 on this new channel. That I
Like that like button now.
we appreciate y'all. No cap.
So, before we get into this final topic, they've been taking jabs all night. CD Projekt Red has come out and saying we're gonna do the crunch, even though they delayed the game to avoid crunch. And they said they were never gonna do crunch on Cyberpunk 2077. I need to know y'all's thoughts because I feel like this is some stuff that doesn't need to happen. They had time, they delayed, and it's still happening.
Delay
the
the
developer.
game again.
Slowly but
Delay
surely,
the
like,
game
it's
again.
nonsense unraveling from CD Projekt. Because just before this, we started hearing about microtransactions in the multiplayer. Well, if
Yes.
it's strictly multiplayer, I sort of understand, but you didn't have to go out of your way and volunteer a lie and say there'd be none.
No
And,
microtransaction. Yeah.
And the
the
story.
same way, you didn't need to volunteer a lie and say, "Hey, it's going to be only optional overtime, no crunch."
Mm-hmm.
Listen, delay the game again and take it off of current gen consoles, cause that's the issue.
Ugh.
I know we've been
Ugh.
talking about this for a while. And do you guys think we're putting Cyberpunk on too high of a pedestal?
Y'all
because
been
of
doing
how
that.
Well, Witcher did.
Y'all been doing that.
I
I
think
know.
I think we hype for it. It depends on who you talk to, because I'm very hyped for it, and I did think for a while towards the beginning I was putting it on too high a pedestal, so I like calmed my hype down a little bit. But at the same time, I still am just that hyped for the game. That doesn't mean I'll be blind to anything that the company does and just be like, oh yeah, that's fine. I'll still criticize. I am hyped for the game because everything I hear about it seems like something that I want.
I think we're setting ourselves up for disappointment with this game. And that's not saying it's a bad game. That's not saying it will be a bad game. But I think Hugger's right. And I've been thinking this for a while. Me personally, I'm literally buying the game because everyone's saying how great it's going to be. Like, I feel like not being peer pressured, but I feel like, oh, yeah, it looks cool. But I see something like I saw that first person like combat, and I'm like, oh, this looks kind of garbage. I'm like,
Yeah,
you can do all this up to my character, but I can't see him unless I'm walking by a mirror. Like, that's kind of stupid. Like, oh, like this. Like, I feel like people excitement is the reason why I have it pre-ordered.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense.
I feel like this game will probably be as good as we're expecting. Not the just like what we've seen from CD with Witcher 3, because I feel like the people that have played any other CD game, like the other Witcher games, they're not as hyped because the other Witcher games were terrible. If you play Gwent frequently, it gets a lot of updates, yes, but it's not Gwent a frequent player here. It's not the greatest game. I feel like it'll be a good game. I don't know if it would be what people expecting, but I feel like we're starting to see, because CD was always like the bastion of, hey, this is what you should be as a game studio in the future. And I think we're starting to see the cracks of, oh, maybe CD isn't what we thought it was. And it's coming out in an ugly way.
And I think part of that is the nature of what happens when you like attain success. The expectations don't ever lower; they go higher. Deadlines move up. Like nothing ever works in your favor when you grow and get bigger. Like things get more challenging, and the bar gets consistently raised. So they're gonna start to feel pressures that they didn't feel before. And if my understanding is, and this is not just gaming, any kind of work that has to do with deadlines, those deadlines are never kind. Like they're never reasonable. Usually, from what I understand, it's always, hey, this is the deadline, and it's going to be a real son of a bee to try and get there. So here's what we're going to have to do to try and do it. And then usually that deadline, even if they push it back, or most of the time they'll try and move it up on you, you're always working under a clock. And it gets, as you get closer and closer to that final moment, that clock only gets more and more menacing, and that pressure gets, and that weight gets heavier and heavier. So I'm not saying I approve that they're doing this. I will say it's not like I didn't see it coming. There's two things I will never believe and per se these days, and that's there will be no crunch whatsoever. I think you're just a liar. And there will be no microtransactions whatsoever. And I don't care what your game is. I expect microtransactions, and I expect people to have to go through some kind of crunch to try and finish your game because you probably set some ridiculous deadline for it.
Listen,
You're right.
when it comes to crunch, if the workers are getting paid and they're getting paid overtime, I don't care. Gonna be honest. As a gamer or a consumer, if these people are getting paid and they're getting paid fairly, they're getting paid pretty nice, and they happy where they work at, if they like it, I love it. You know, I get it. They most won't come out and speak out against the place they work for, but if they like it, I love it. In my opinion,
The people when somebody that was working on Red Dead Redemption for all the years it was out, but then left Rockstar the year the game was put out, and they removed your name from the credits and every trace that you ever worked on the game, you're fine with that?
I didn't say that. But
you said as long as they worked hard and got paid well.
No. You got to take my full statement, because nowhere did I say that. I said if they're getting paid for it and they are happy where they are, if they like it, I love it. I have no issue with it. And I clearly put out caveats. They are getting paid. They are happy where they work. Then I have no issue. Now, if you're not getting paid or you're disgruntled, that's a different story. The person who left obviously wasn't happy where he was at. But if you like it, I love it. So I'm not condoning nothing. Now, there's nowhere in my sentence am I saying anything about, none of that. What I'm saying is, if they got paid and they're getting paid handsome, they're getting their overtime, and they enjoy where they work and enjoy what they do. If you like it, I love it. Me personally, my very first thought on this was delay the game. That was my first thought. Just delay it. But if they crunching, and the people who decide, I'm gonna go ahead and crunch, I'm gonna get this money, I'm gonna get these chochos, and I'm gonna do my thing. If you like it, I love it.
Okay. So what if a situation like Mike Laidlaw, who worked for BioWare, was the one to revolutionize and actually holds the patent on the conversation system that Mass Effect uses, the wheel there. He left to pursue better opportunities. If BioWare was to pull a Red Dead or a Rockstar, and he's worked for them for 25 years, and they removed his name from the upcoming game, even though he worked. But
that's not the topic at hand. That's a twist. That's not
the question I'm posing to you.
Oh, but that's a whole different conversation. Like I'm not sure why I'm not. It's completely different. We're talking about people crunching and working overtime, working extra hours to finish a game. Nothing else.
Yes, but we don't also know the culture of the crunch. We don't know what's going on. And
this is why I said, if they are getting paid and if they are happy, those are the two avenues I laid out. If they're getting paid like they should, handsomely, and if they are happy. If there's anything opposite of those two, including not being happy, then I'm not okay with it. But the other examples don't match up to what I'm specifically saying is if they're getting paid and if they are happy. If those two,
truly happy.
I'm not. That's why I said if. I'm not saying definitively the people at this studio are happy. I'm not saying that. I said if. If they are happy and they like what they doing, then I love it. If, the big if, they are happy and they like it, then I love it. And my core argument was to delay the game. So there's no way to try to. What if they this? What if that? I'm not doing what ifs. I'm specifically talking about the crunch. If they're getting paid and they're happy where they work, who am I to tell you, hey man, you need to walk up and leave because that ain't right? Who am I to say that? If you're happy and you enjoy what you're doing, who am I to tell you, oh, that's crap, you need to leave your job? Do I think that's delay the game? Of course.
Leave.
Of course. But I'm not gonna make the assumption that these people are, stomping up and down the hallways, they getting ready to quit. They might be happy. Some people bury themselves in their work. They love what they do. I'm not gonna say they should up and leave, or we should storm in and shut the studio down. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that. I'm saying if these people are happy with what they doing, who am I to tell them to stop doing it? That's all.
Baron, stop. We're not giving away a copy of Cyberpunk. Stop.
Really?
Here's and you kind of touched on this, Fame. The biggest part about it is not a single one of us can speak on behalf of the employees. They got to speak for themselves.
True.
If the conditions are terrible and they feel like they are being wronged, they need to speak up.
Fact.
I'm not saying it's the easiest thing in the world to do. Well, there's NDA about like project-related things, and then there's you being treated as a human being. That's not going to be under an NDA.
Oh, it kind of is, though.
I think human rights. I think
you're pretty safe in court. Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you're getting hired straight out of school, you don't know that.
Well, but it's not. But again, we're not talking about one person. We're talking about the company as a whole. If this crunch is affecting all of their developers and all their programmers and all that, if something is really wrong, then they have to speak up. You have to say something.
And I'm sure they got a break room somewhere. I'm sure they got a break room somewhere with signs posted up about labor laws and all type of stuff, and numbers you can call and stuff you can report. You can report this anonymously. Every job has that somewhere. They have that, and so I just think whether you're new, whether you're old, if you're being treated unfairly, you're not getting paid, you're not doing this, and that's something I had before you, man. You better speak up because you'll be a fool not to.
That's the only way that we can ever really know because we're not there. So I'm willing to say that there's instances of pretty gnarly crunch, but the employees are okay with it, or at least some of them are, and they're willing to take that step because they want to finish the project or whatever. And then I'm sure there's the opposite of that too, where there's some of that crunch where people are like, this is absolutely ridiculous, and I feel like I'm being mistreated as a human being. And the only way we know what side of that line you fall on is through your voice. Because we're not there at the company. We don't know. I'm not going to go undercover at CD Projekt Red to try and solve. Maybe I will.
Ooh, I might.
Please do. Please go to Poland and do it.
We have, I think, no, all my family there is dead.
Oh wow, it got dark, didn't it? Jeez.
Well, it was mostly older relatives that still lived there. Everybody else came to the States. But that's the thing about it is we need to hear their voices. If they come out and they say, yeah, it kind of stinks, but everything was reasonable, like accommodations were made for us and we were paid, for it. So it stinks to go through, but it was okay. Like we weren't being like treated like farm animals or something to slaughter. And it's like, okay. But then if they come out and say, no, it was terrible, like they had somebody watching us around the clock, we were only allowed 10-minute water breaks like every 13 hours, then it's like, well, that's a freaking problem, obviously. So we need to hear from you if it's a problem or if it's not. That's all we can really say about
I will say the gaming community is not being fair because when we heard
never
about this at Naughty Dog, people ate Naughty Dog lunch. People ate Naughty Dog lunch, but for CD Projekt Red, nobody has anything to say.
And you would think it would be a little stronger for CD Projekt because the reason that people think it's something nefarious in the first place is because you opened your mouth and said, "Hey, no crunch. We're not doing that. And then you turn around and did.
That doesn't a good look, that's for sure. But
No crunch, no microtrans, and they've been reneging a lot.
I think
They some re-niggas.
No.
the whole biggest issue that this all stems from is the ridiculous timetables and deadlines. Like I love my video games, okay? But if you, as the person who's developed multiple games in your lifetime and had them be successful, come to me and say, hey, fellow fans of my projects and person that I work for, I would like to make this game, and here's what I think is a reasonable amount of time for me to make it. I know 99.9% of the time that meeting goes, gamers, we want it sooner, and person you work for says, well, you need to do it by this deadline. And that's what brings these situations in. If we can all just kind of understand and learn some freaking patience, like we don't have thousands of other games at our disposal to play.
Right?
Let the games be made at their own pace, and then this never becomes a conversation. These people can work normal 40-hour weeks, or, if they want to get their overtime in and do their 60, 70-hour weeks, then it's their choice to do so. And hey, if the game gets done sooner, awesome, cool, it's ready. But we're getting fully fleshed out final products, and we're not having to turn, studios into proverbial sweatshops to try and get it done last minute.
I think we would understand in the big Rona age that if you need to delay your game by a year, I would understand, because this is a global pandemic never seen before in the modern age. Canada's going back into lockdown. We're having 1,000 people per day in one province being infected. All right, it's this is something we've never dealt with, so I would understand if take another 6 months. The original Witcher was delayed by almost a year. I would understand that. If it wasn't like Dallas said, if it wasn't for they open their mouth, there's no microtransactions, we're not going to do the crunch. We're going to be the bastions of the gaming community. And then you go and make yourself hypocrites.
Transparency. Yeah, we need actual honesty and transparency. And don't get me wrong, if a game that I'm looking forward to comes out and says, hey, we're delaying by a month or 6 months or a year, it's not that I'm happy about that news, but I'm not going to go crucify people over it. I'm going to be like, oh, okay,
I've got 200 other games
bummer,
to try to get through on my
I'll
backlog.
look at that stack of games collecting dust that I've always been meaning to play and been like, it's not like I don't have something to do, so let me go do this.
Finish us.
Can't we all just be reasonable and understanding? Can't we just do that? No. I know.
We're not trying to demonize CD. We're just trying to point out some... Is what we talked about, fame? Exactly. What we talked about on the last Take Two was nobody has the energy to keep up when we were talking about the PlayStation not giving the free automatic delivery for Spider-Man. You got to keep that energy up. If CD is pulling some scummy business practices, you got to keep them up. I know they're the bastions and they are what you look forward to, but you gotta keep that energy up. We're not trying to demonize them. We're just trying to point it out, people.
Big facts.
My big brother Fame is tired.
No, no, what's that? I was trying to fix some stuff on the back end. Sorry.
Oh, he dying,
Sorry.
y'all.
And then as soon as I found out we wasn't on cam, I started drinking a little bit too.
Oh, I've been So the last topic we have in our header is I think only Demi and I can really maybe talk about this. But Demi the big boy that can talk about this. Our Demiculus, Yakuza 7. Please give us the rundown on what Like a Dragon, all that controversy is gonna go down.
So Yakuza 7 is launching with the Xbox Series X. However, it releases on PlayStation 4 on the same exact day. But if you want it for PlayStation 5, it comes out in March 2nd, 2021. But the only way you can get the upgrade is if you buy it digitally. There's no physical upgrade, or no, I don't think it's even coming out physically for the PS5. I think it's just digital only.
Yeah, not yet.
which is baffling. First of all, it's baffling to hear that the Yakuza is that's launching Xbox first.
That's crazy.
That is.
Who would have thought?
That started on the PlayStation.
Both Microsoft and Nintendo. This is something I learned today. Both Microsoft and Nintendo turned
it down.
away.
Yep.
And that's why they went with PlayStation.
Violent. Well, I understand why kind of Nintendo turned it down, because Nintendo, or at least Japan, has kind of like a big stigma about Yakuza and anything named Yakuza and tattoos and stuff still. So I understand why Nintendo turned it down. But Microsoft, come on.
This is another another list of added games that Microsoft has either turned away or lost that they could have had. They could have had Heavy Rain, could have had RE4 on the original Xbox. Interesting tidbits there, but this is baffling. This is a weird case. Didn't think Sega would put their next biggest Yakuza title as the Xbox launch title, and to see the PlayStation getting pushed away like this is even more confusing.
Now I have a question, Demi. Did I read correctly that you can play the PS4 version on PS5?
That's where it's even more confusing too, because that's what it's saying, but then it's like, oh, you can get the PS5 version in March.
It's just
it's
a weird like, I wonder if like this is something Microsoft paid for, because that's a weird exclusivity to pay for. I'm sorry. Hey, yeah,
I think we're missing a lot that happened in the Tokyo Game Show, because the Yakuza movie is getting worked on.
Yeah,
I just like,
and they're
I think we
announcing
missed a
another
lot.
game.
Exactly. Something happened. I watched some of the Tokyo Game Show, but it was like 4 days, so there was a lot to cover. I think we missed something.
We may have, but all I know right now is Yakuza and Xbox, and then pay like exclusive time for, because this is the RPG one. This is the one that people are like super iffy on.
This the one I'm more excited for. I love turn-based RPGs.
This is the one that has to prove itself, though. Turn-based RPGs is cool, but this is the one like, all right, we've had this beat 'em up series for years, RPG, and this is like the next one that happens immediately after 6.
Pulling a reverse
This gonna be the game where people who play Yakuza normally gonna hate it, and new people like me gonna love it. That's what's gonna happen.
Or you're gonna hate it because it's not a true RPG.
True.
Oh no, it's a true turn-based RPG. It has Dragon Quest and Persona like effects and references. Like they stick to being a true turn-based game. They don't take no cuts, no skips. They don't cut corners or anything like that. Because I've been playing the Japanese
90% of the Yakuza fan base, because I don't want to play a turn-based game. If I'm playing turn-based, I'll go play Persona.
Oh, yeah.
The interesting thing is that we're playing the game and we're seeing how the main character sees it.
That's true. But it's not Kiryu-chan.
He's a big JRPG fan, so that's why it's a turn-based game.
I'm just interested in this one.
Shout out to the one person who just unsubbed. I don't know what we did to you, but bye.
Bye, bitch.
Oh, we gotta hate
If you guys would like to subscribe.
Yeah, somebody was like, "No, I'm out," and they left and unsubbed. I'm like, "Bye."
I hold your head up.
We'll take you guys leaving and subscribing. We ain't about to buy no subscribers. We ain't about to try to false trick you guys into subbing. If you like our content, you like it. If you don't, you don't. Looking at you, all the people that watched the Delilah interview and didn't subscribe.
I mean,
God, I wish we had cams on. I was giving a shady eye.
All the real ones that's here that did subscribe. How about y'all go ahead and hit that like button?
Smack that like button.
Yo, like,
they did.
Give us guest suggestions too. We want to start getting some new people on here. We want to broaden our horizons.
Ideas, but we need. I don't know if it's gonna be on the podcast. That's the thing.
Like, I think Donald Trump gonna come through. I gotta figure out if
I'm not gonna be on the day. I'm sick.
You sus.
I think he gonna come through, bro. Like, I'm not sure.
I'm sorry.
I'm still trying to get that interview with Pac's hologram.
Yeah, y'all sus. I seen y'all leaving medical bay. Sorry.
No
I'm
one
sorry,
even
I'm
mentioned the
sick.
delay that hurt me the most. Okay, Crab Champion back
Oh,
from its initial October 20th pre-release
Killing
date,
me.
and I'm
Oh,
very sad about this because I want to play that dang game.
Demi, do you have Among Us?
I do.
Okay.
Fam, this is not what we're talking about on the
Dallas,
podcast.
Dallas, Dallas, do you have Among Us?
Anyway,
Dallas,
Not
do you?
yet.
It's $5
is
on
there
Steam. Hugger,
anything on
you
the
the only
chat?
person
No, I'm not gonna play it. I told you that. Anything on chat we missed, yo?
that
that happened this
refuse
week?
to play Among Us with us.
Oh,
I know there was supposed to be some Battlefield 6 news today that didn't come out. So there's that.
I'm keeping watch on this Mythical Mass Effect remaster. But
Right?
I'm
I
still
don't-
waiting on something.
I think it's gonna be November because November 7th is N7 Day. So we're probably gonna see some news then. Not before, not
Day and
Not-
date with the new consoles.
no. I don't think they're ready for that.
Wow.
I think, well, look how many games have shifted down. Assassin's Creed Valhalla moved up. We got Yakuza. We got all the Game Pass games. We got.
November is packed.
It's busy. Like, it's busy. So I don't think. I'm not concerned
Mass
that
Effect will
there's not going to
drown.
be games. I just don't think there's no first party games that are going to be out. There's games to play, just not first party games. And most of the games that are gonna be out, we already own.
By the way, guys,
Yeah.
Doom is downloadable and playable right now on Game Pass.
oh, I'm on it.
All right, so who's beating
Which Doom?
Doom Eternal.
Eternal?
I've already. Oh, Eternal. I'll play Doom. I've played the original Doom. I'll play Doom Eternal. I'll try to speedrun it.
Because I beat it on stream earlier this year, so I'm solid.
I want to hear about what you beat back.
Oh, let's before we get out to
Don't
the
sleep.
outros, what's y'all's game count? How many games have y'all beat already this year?
32.
Dallas, how many games?
Ugh, I don't know. I don't know if I even beat that many games this year. I had to think about that.
I can tell you right now, I do not keep track of that at all.
I'm at like 10, 11, something like that. My number
Yeah, I
low.
never really think about that.
I ain't even gonna
Let
cap.
me see.
Demi, what you at?
32.
Ooh, big Papa out here. Kev don't keep track of that shit. Of
I
course he
can
don't.
try and count. Hang on.
And I just
and
beat
a lot
2
of the games I
last
play,
night.
like there's no end to. Like
Yeah.
I'll never beat Valorant or Overwatch. I'll just
You
continue
can
to
beat
feed.
Overwatch. You can put it down.
I'll just
Two, but you can't be Overwatch.
Or you just gotta fight Jeff. Head up.
I'd
You
take
know
him,
it.
bro. Wouldn't even be close. Come catch these hands,
Give
Papa
him-
Jeff.
Oh, please, God, call him Papa Jeff. Oh, I'm dying. Who was it? Was it Fame that was just doing the counting? Fame?
Huh?
Were you count? Were you
Nuh-uh.
doing?
I'm counting.
Was
I'm
it
counting.
Nuh-uh.
I'm counting.
No.
Oh,
But
Fame beat what? 5 games, including Dauntless.
nah, I'm at like 10. I gotta go. I can go to a
I
recap.
can legit say Fame was at one point up over me on the achievement list. So
That's
He was
true. He
grinding.
was banging.
I just started knocking a bunch of games out. So, but I've
beat you
chilled
last night.
with all the writing and podcasting and talking to developers and trying to
Yeah.
book stuff. It's like doing what we do and like this and we're still on such a small scale, right? I don't make everything like, oh, y'all think y'all. But doing what we do, especially in on the day to day stuff that me and Hugger got to do, man, it's hard to find time for games, man. I've tried to back away, and I'm saying I know I get up out of here, but I'm on my soapbox for a second. Hugger has taught me to back away. Hugger's taught me to back away from everything on the weekend. So most of my gaming really do come in on the weekend. Like I plan on doing my She Sees Red stream because I got to do the review on that. But yeah, man, since the website kicked off, bro, it's hard. Like I write about more games than I can play right now, which sucks. And like I get all these review codes, and we get review codes on a daily basis, and I'm giving it to other people for. I'm not even playing these games, right? It's one that I was selfish and did myself, which was Sheen, and I put that review up recently because I love beat 'em ups, right?
And Grief Helm.
Grief Helm, yes, and that game was alright. It was hard, bro. Fuck, I almost broke my PC, bro, playing with that stupid game, bro.
I think I'm at 12 games. I think,
Nice.
counting through my Steam library and what I know I've played on Switch and my Xbox and PS this year.
So check it out. We're gonna try to get together and do an Among Us stream this weekend.
Minus Hugger.
Dallas, Citizen Snips, Demi, y'all with it?
I'm gonna murder all y'all.
I'm with it.
That's fine.
Blame Dallas.
Yes, sir. So let's try to do this. If you ain't got no plans Saturday night, let's do a Saturday night Among Us stream. Hopefully by then I could convince Hugger to go ahead and do the thing.
Hugger, you might as well just cop. Like, come on.
I do have
No.
Saturday plans, but it depends
You don't,
on
you know,
when
you
y'all
don't
come
even
from.
have to buy it. Only the person who's hosting the lobby technically has to have the paid version of the game.
I've been
Everybody
playing
else
Red
can
Dead
play for
Redemption
free.
online. I don't care.
But
I'm
can we get like an hour of your time?
No.
We can't get like just a second.
Because you know the weekend is dedicated to finishing and writing all the stuff I'm behind on.
What about Friday?
Yo, the face one gaming is turning into the butt of level 1. She's being a butt
That's
right
true.
now.
Hey, before we
See,
leave,
you know what's funny? Fame said he was gonna call me out on stream trying to get me to play. I was like, you can call me out. I really don't care.
before we leave, I want y'all to look on stream, and this is like the best like meme I've seen with the Peter Parker PS4 and PS5. If y'all can look on stream before we get up out of here.
Wait.
Is it
We
mine?
haven't done our suggestions.
No, we about to do them. We about to do them. I just want y'all to look on the stream. I just came across this on Twitter. This is the perfect. And we know the Peter Parker PS4, the original Aunt Viv was the best Aunt Viv. That's
She
facts.
was the best of it. She's kind of crazy though, but she was the best. Hustle, me and you were in a competition. I know you're at like 3-4 games that you finished this year. Baby, I'm on my 46th game that I just finished this year. You need
Nice.
to get up, Hustle.
But
Hustle, I'm a...
Fame,
Let's-
how you not gonna show the one that I made? Come on, man.
That was a good
I'm
one.
gonna go to it, but as I go to it, let's do suggestions and outros at the same time. We'll start with you, Snips.
Yes. So, what's up, everybody? Game wise,
Howdy.
I have. It's kind of a sad thing for me. I've been doing Telltale Tuesday for my Tuesday streams for like since I started streaming almost a year ago now. I've officially finished the last available Telltale game that is still up for purchase. I'm done with Batman: The Enemy Within. So I am now contemplating what I'm going to do on my Tuesdays now, shifting to a different game or something like that. So this is sad times for me. So I'm going to say my recommendation is to go back and play a Telltale series game, whether it's The Walking Dead or Batman or Wolf Among Us. I enjoyed them. I'm sad that they're over renegade choices aspect of life that I can. And as far as anime, I think I mentioned this one a few weeks back when I started it. This may be like over a month or so ago. But anime called Decadence. I finished the other night finally. It's only a little 12 episoder. But I think as far as I usually don't like shorter anime like that. I find the pacing to be horrible and I can't really get into it. This one I really did enjoy. I think it was pretty much the perfect 12 episode anime in terms of story and pacing and all that, and I enjoyed the action and the animation, so I would recommend that for everybody to go watch. DECA-DENCE, Decadence. Go check it out.
And your final word, sir. Your goodbye.
My goodbye is thank you all for coming. I appreciate it. You can't see my claws, but you know they're here. Check us out on Twitter, y'all. You can follow me at citizen_SN1PZ. The Twitter handle for us as well. And of course, if you haven't been and if you aren't already, check us out at lv1gaming.com. A lot of time and effort going into that. And if you know anyone who can write coherent sentences and likes to talk about video games, anime, or other nerd culture things, hit us up. We need more writers, always and forever.
Dallas man, what you got?
Man, what do I got? Let me think about that. Game wise, I don't know if I really have a game that I've been playing that I really want to suggest exactly. But y'all go play what's the gosh darn name of that game? I don't remember it.
You lent liquor.
I know.
Stop. Leave him alone.
I can't remember the name of the game that I wanted to say, but I wasn't going to suggest it. Genshin Impact. Play Genshin Impact and then come back and let me know if it's dope.
Well, hang on. I actually have to interject here. I very rarely feel so strongly about things. I am on a full boycott of Genshin Impact until they patch it to let you pet the dog.
What's a
You sound like me for a second there.
It's because I'm flustered. Until you can pet the dog, that game is not worth your time.
I'm pet that dog.
That's true.
I'm pet that dog.
You don't put a dog in a game and not give the player a way to pet it. What the heck
If
is
you
wrong
can't
with you?
pet it, what's the point?
Oh, that's crazy. Let me see. Now, entertainment wise, actually, I finally got around to starting. Didn't get too far into it, but I finally got around to starting season 2 of The Boys. So I know we suggested that at some point or another, but it's because it's a good show. So go watch it. Also, since I've fallen short with the rest of the media, if you don't already know it, I want to put you on to it. If you like stories, if you like weird, like X-Files ass stuff and stuff like that, Google SCP Foundation and thank me later. That's all I'm gonna tell you. Or YouTube it. YouTube or Google SCP Foundation and thank me later if you like creepy stories.
And your final word?
Bird is the word. It's the bird.
No.
All right, Demigod, what you got?
Game wise, I'm gonna pitch out this indie. It's called The Long Reach. It's about dwelling deep into AI nightmares that try to cross over with humanity, and it's really like horrific and thriller, point and click, lots of dialogue. Really good, kind of short, like 2-3 hours. I played it last night on my Xbox, and I was like, "Wow, this is pretty good." Weird story, but when it all comes full circle, it hits. For anime, I am going to still request Seraph of the End, Vampire Reign. Vampires is taking over humanity, and humanity is trying to stop them while the apocalypse is coming back, and 90% of humanity has been wiped out. So only 10% is left, and they're going to war for the rest of Earth. So that's pretty good. And I don't have anything for movies, so I've just been gaming and anime from there.
And your last word?
I know quite a few people have been asking, but I'll be back streaming soon. I'm cooking up a comeback trailer, and now that everything's calmed down, I can come back and finish up these articles that I have and just get back to content creation, period. So I will see you guys real soon. Trust me.
Floor hugger, my lover.
You my big brother. Can't be lovers.
You know what I meant.
That's I don't do I?
Yeah.
Do I? I don't know about that. For movies, y'all, I've been watching rewatching, I should say, the Christopher Nolan Batman Begins, Dark Knight Rises, you know, all that.
Getting ready for Robert Pattinson, huh?
Oh God, I forgot that's coming out because everything's been delayed, so I haven't been paying attention to anything new. So yeah, movie-wise, go rewatch the Batman. Remember, it's not who I am, but what I do that defines me. That kind of crap. For anime, I'm watching a lot of Neon Genesis Evangelion, so like the end of Evangelion and Rebirth and all that stuff. Go watch some Evangelion.
Some classics.
It's classic. It's like a 20-year-old series. If you love Cowboy Bebop but haven't watched Evangelion, Eva is just banging. And for games, because we're in a, you know, big Rona, she be slapping her booty down, go play some Assassin's Creed. It's my favorite game series. I've just been spending a lot of time playing Assassin's Creed Origins. I'm in the Pharaoh DLC. I'm in the Duat, trying to figure out what's going on. Go play some Assassin's Creed. There's got a little bit for everybody. Even if you don't play the mainline titles, the little branch-off titles, India, Russia, and China, they got some things for everybody. So just have some good good stuff. And if you use Opera, which is the browser I use and I know Fame uses, they have a built-in VPN, so you can probably get Canada. Probably, I guess, has the best Netflix. We have all the Studio Ghibli movies. We have all the Lord of the Rings movies. So try Opera out. Here to offer you the best stuff while we can.
And your final word?
My final word is you guys will see me tomorrow with my big brother Fame talking about some nonsense. And I'm sorry I haven't been streaming this week. I've been trying to catch up on some stuff. But next week, I don't know if we're gonna continue Mass Effect, but we will be doing some crazy stuff because Quantum Astrophysics Guild, again, being the awesome people they are, they sent me another thing, so we will probably be playing that next week.
They did too.
They're just awesome.
Yeah, they're great.
Before we get out of here, I got to give a super shout out to one of our more active chatters tonight, Wasabi Ice Cream. So obviously, when I was talking about the Telltale series games, there are more Telltale series games out there, but after the whole studio shutdown thing, a lot of those games became no longer available for purchase. One of the ones that I was really excited about getting to couldn't because it was no longer available was Tales from the Borderlands. This dude had a leftover Steam code, and if you had access to the game already, you can still access it. So he hooked me up with the Steam code. I'm installing the thing right now, so it looks like Telltale Tuesday will get to go on for another couple weeks. Thank you so much, man. Huge
Wasabi,
thanks.
can I give a big shout out to you? You've been my friend for like 7 years. You've been amazing. You bought me so many games, and we will play Outer Wilds eventually. But you just been supporting the stream. You've been supporting me. You've been supporting the team. Thank you, Wasabi. I love you. And he also runs his own thing, Game Overs. I know I'm dumb and I can't pronounce it half the time, but Game Overs. Go support Wasabi on there. He's just an amazing dude who's been my friend for way too long, and is still hanging around.
That's impressive in and of itself.
Right?
Big.
Promisculous testiculus. What you got for us?
He already went, love. I'm the last one.
I said promisculous testiculus.
I thought that was Demi's name.
No, my name is Demetrius.
Demi changes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna be honest.
Demiculus. You're
All I do-
Half man, half
testiculus. You got the testiculus attached to you.
I thought it was Demiculus.
sex
I
tape.
thought it was Dismiculus testiculus as well.
No.
When he gets me fired up, it is. But
Oh.
Why I gotta get you fired up?
sometimes,
Well-
you know, when we talk about Aloy, you get me fired up. But we're not gonna talk about
Oh, I'm not talking
Aloy.
promisculous. No, Dallas, get out of my ear.
Aloy.
Promisculous testiculus. What you got for us?
Stop.
Now, all
I'm
I
not in my business. That wasn't even me.
all I do is working right. I actually haven't played a video game in an entire week. I haven't watched anything in an entire week. I promise y'all, all I do is work my 9 to 5 and work on a website. I'm getting
That's
back.
a lie.
It's true. I'm getting back to gaming this week.